Tensions inside the grand, glittering hall were so thick that at night you could almost feel them pressing against your chest, as if the very air itself knew something historic was about to happen. It had started as a seemingly ordinary evening, at least, as ordinary as an event involving Donald Trump and Elon Musk could ever be. Cameras flashed in frantic bursts, reporters whispered into live microphones, and the world's most powerful figures mingled in nervous anticipation of what was billed as a routine, innovation and leadership summit. But beneath the polished speeches and polite applause, a storm was brewing, one that no one in the audience, not even the security guards posted at every corner, could have predicted. Donald Trump, dressed in his signature dark suit and red tie, stood at the center of the stage, a confident smile plastered across his face. He had been speaking for nearly 20 minutes, tossing out his trademark mix of bold claims and dramatic pauses, when the doors at the back of the room swung open. Every head turned as Elon Musk walked in, carrying a plain black folder under his arm. The billionaire entrepreneur moved with quiet purpose, his eyes scanning the crowd like a man who knew he held the kind of truth that could rearrange the world. The cameras followed his every step. Reporters scrambled for position. Even the usually unshakable Trump faltered mid-sentence, his words catching for just a split second as he locked eyes with the unexpected guest. "Ladies and gentlemen," Elon said calmly, his voice carrying across the vast hall without the aid of a microphone. "I'm here because the people watching deserve to know the truth." A ripple of murmurs surged through the audience. Trump's smile hardened. He motioned to the event organizers, his jaw tightening. "Security," he said sharply, not even attempting to mask the irritation in his voice. "This is a private event. Remove him." Two suited guards stepped forward, their earpieces buzzing with sudden instructions, but Elon did not flinch. Instead, he slowly raised the black folder in his hand, holding it high enough for the cameras to catch it. "Before anyone takes a single step toward me," he said, his tone firm but not aggressive, "you might want to hear what's inside this folder. Because once it's out, there's no going back." The room fell into a stunned silence. You could hear the faint hum of the cameras, the nervous shifting of feet, even the quickened breaths of those sitting closest to the stage. Trump's eyes narrowed. "This is nonsense," he barked, his voice growing louder, more forceful. "This man has nothing. He's trying to create a scene." "Security now!" But the guards hesitated. Something about Elon's calm confidence froze them in place. He wasn't shouting. He wasn't making wild gestures. He simply stood there, a man with a folder, looking straight into the lens of every camera, broadcasting live to millions around the world. And then, in one deliberate motion, Elon opened the folder. Inside was a stack of papers so thick it looked like it had taken years to compile. The front page bore a single word in bold, black letters: evidence. Gasps erupted from the crowd. Trump took a step back, his hand gripping the edge of the podium. "These," Elon began, his voice steady despite the chaos around him, "are documents, communications, and agreements that have been hidden from the public. Information that reveals decisions made behind closed doors, decisions that affect every single person watching right now. Tonight I'm breaking the silence." The audience leaned forward, as if pulled by an invisible force. Reporters fumbled to capture every word. Phones lit up as viewers across the globe flooded social media with frantic messages. "What is he talking about? What does he have? Is this real?" Trump slammed his hand on the podium. "This is a hoax," he shouted, his voice booming through the hall. "This is fake news, folks. He's lying!" But Elon kept speaking unfazed. He flipped through the pages, each turn revealing more shocking details. He spoke of secret deals made in the dead of night, of conversations that had been buried under layers of legal jargon, of moments where power and profit had been placed above the well-being of ordinary people. He named dates, times, and places. He read excerpts of emails and memos, and with each revelation the audience gasped louder, their disbelief giving way to a growing sense of outrage. Security hovered uncertainly near the edges of the stage, torn between their orders and the knowledge that they were witnessing history. Trump's face reddened, his usual confidence replaced by a rare flicker of panic. "This man is a fraud," he bellowed. "He's making it all up. Don't believe a word of it!" But Elon was relentless. He pulled out photographs, handwritten notes, and even recorded transcripts. The documents weren't vague or cryptic. They were specific, undeniable, and damning. "The truth," Elon said, pausing to let the weight of his words settle over the stunned audience, has been hidden for too long. People deserve to know what's been happening behind the curtains of power. They deserve transparency. They deserve honesty. At that moment, the room erupted. Reporters shouted questions. Cameras flashed like lightning. Some audience members cheered while others booed. The tension, already stretched to the breaking point, snapped like a live wire. Trump shouted over the noise, demanding the microphones be cut, but it was too late. The broadcast was already streaming across the world, unstoppable and unedited. Millions were watching from their homes, their phones, their offices. Social media exploded with hashtags, theories, and reactions. Some doubted the authenticity of the documents. Others declared this the greatest political revelation of the decade. Elon stood calmly through the chaos, his folder now open on the podium for all to see. "This isn't about me," he said finally, his voice cutting through the roar like a knife through glass. "This is about truth. And truth, no matter how deeply buried, will always find its way to the surface." As he stepped back from the podium, the audience rose to their feet, not in a single unified reaction, but in a storm of clashing emotions. Some applauded, others shouted, some simply stood frozen in shock. Security finally moved in, not to drag Elon away, but to maintain order as the crowd threatened to surge forward. Trump stood rigid, gripping the sides of the podium, his face a storm of anger and disbelief. The night, which had begun as a carefully planned event, had turned into something no one could have scripted. A moment of raw, unfiltered truth broadcast live to a world hungry for answers. Outside the hall, the streets filled with people reacting in real time. Some celebrated Elon's courage, calling him a hero for daring to speak when so many had remained silent. Others accused him of grandstanding, demanding proof and verification. News networks scrambled to analyze every detail of the documents. Experts were called in to examine the evidence. Fact-checkers worked overtime, and governments issued statements urging calm, but no amount of spin could erase the images that had already burned themselves into the public's memory. Elon Musk standing before millions, calmly revealing a folder of secrets while Donald Trump tried in vain to shut him down. Hours later, as the world continued to buzz with speculation, Elon released the full set of documents online, ensuring that no amount of censorship could contain them. Within minutes, the files were downloaded, shared, and mirrored across countless platforms. The truth once hidden had become unstoppable. And while debates raged over what would happen next, legal battles, political fallout, public protests, one thing was certain: the world would never be the same. For days, people replayed the footage, dissecting every word, every glance, every hesitation. They analyzed Trump's reaction, Elon's tone, the stunned faces in the crowd. They debated what this meant for the future of politics, technology, and power itself. Some said it was the beginning of a new era of transparency. Others warned of chaos, conspiracies, and unintended consequences. But amid all the noise, one simple truth remained. A single man, armed with nothing more than a folder and the courage to speak, had changed the conversation forever. Whether you believed every word or questioned every detail, you could not deny the impact of that night. It was a reminder that secrets, no matter how carefully guarded, have a way of coming to light, and that sometimes the most powerful weapon of all is the truth itself.